George wears many hats and has many roles in terms of economic development and different responsibilities he's been tasked with through both the town of Cortlandt as well as the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce. And last year, it was in November of 2018, we had the town of Cortlandt come and present and discuss different economic development initiatives within our school district and within the town. And the reason that's important to us and will remain important to us is that as we begin to deal with life without Indian Point, if there are vacant properties that are very significant that could use development, that will create a new revenue stream to us. And the town of Cortlandt has been awarded a series of grants from New York State, and as well as some consultation from various developers to talk about the potentiality of developing different property, some startup money, some incentive dollars, and George is here to give us an update. This is an identical conversation that he led at the Chamber of Commerce back in November, and we didn't want him to veer too far off. So I'll introduce George Boros to walk us through some opportunities.
Thank you, Joe.
Welcome.
Okay, my
Welcome.
pleasure.
Welcome.
I always like going back to school. I guess blackboards are going to go out of existence with the iPads and stuff. But first of all, I want to thank you for extending the time to me. I know that your time is precious, so I'll be brief. Having been a former elected public official, I know what it's like to have these meetings that go on and on. The difference is, you guys don't get any salary or anything. At least I used to get paid, so it wasn't all that bad.
Busy rubbing it in.
Well, you're gluttons for punishment, but I appreciate the service you do for the community, and I think the community does too. So, thank you for that. Okay. So this is a little bit about the town. You all know this stuff. But this is the presentation that I've had several meetings down county with commercial real estate brokers and developers, and so this is important for them to know. A little bit of background about the town, about the political stability of the town. It's a very good selling feature when I talk to somebody who wants to come in and build a project or is thinking of a project, because they know that there's not a constant turnover in the leadership of the community, and it makes it a little easier to work out things. This is the story we like to say, and you'll see here the initials. It starts with T-E-L-L. This is the story we want to tell. So when I'm talking to somebody that's in business in White Plains or in New York City, and they're looking to expand, I explain to them they can get twice the amount of space up here in Cortlandt at half the cost. That we have an educated and diverse workforce. I don't know how many of you know this, but nearly 60% of the people that live in the Henrik-Hudson School District are college graduates or better. We have low town taxes, as you know, and our lifestyle and our location are second to none. We have great schools, which you're all a part of. You can get to New York City in less than an hour. We have 15 miles of shoreline. We have access to the other side of the river through the Bear Mountain Bridge. So there's a lot of things to tell about this town to anybody that wants to come here and do business. You're aware of these major employees, and of course we're going to lose this one. We all know that. And I don't think I have to dwell too much on the impact of Indian Point's closure. But that's one of the things that spurred Supervisor Puglisi and the town board into taking what came out of the master plan that was conducted before Indian Point was announced to be closed, and to bring me aboard, bring some other things aboard, and we're working on some things that I'll be updating you on as we go through. So we won a Sustainable Master Plan Award, which helped fund the master plan. Out of that master plan, there are 4 special areas of the town that were keyed in on. The Cortlandt Boulevard area, this is the corridor along Route 6. This is the area around the hospital, if you're following it in the local news. The town board, I think, mistakenly thought this was going to be a slam dunk, but there is some opposition from some of the surrounding neighbors about the medical-oriented district. And again, I'll explain these when we get into them. We have the Waterfront Sustainability District, which is important to the Henrik-Hudson School District, as is the area around the Metro North Station, which the biggest handicap we have with this and with a lot of this is the lack of infrastructure, namely sewers. Just last week, the town received a grant of $850,000 We're working with people in the Montrose Business Association and looking to get sewers along the Route 9 corridor, hooking into the sewage treatment plant in the village of Buchanan. Unfortunately, it doesn't go down as far as the transit-oriented district because that would require pump stations. It's not a gravity flow. There are alternatives for this, and again, when I get to that district, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And if you have questions anytime, you can just interrupt me as I go on, because I tend to keep going on and on. This is something New York State and the County of Westchester are very much about. It's called Live, Work, Play. They want flexible public spaces. They like mixed use rather than a whole bunch of area that's all residential or all commercial. They want to create job creation and keep our younger people here and attract and retain jobs. And there's a real focus on New York Central type things, arts, culture, and history. So what the town of Cortland has done since end of 18 and the beginning of 19 is they've developed a list of all the vacant parcels, or most of the vacant parcels. Some of them are owned, they're mostly privately owned, so that creates issues. We can't force somebody to sell or do anything with their property, but at least we have a comprehensive list so that if I get a lead, or if any of you get a lead from somebody who's saying we're looking to relocate our business, or somebody who's an entrepreneur and is starting up and wants to need some space, please contact me, because we have that list. We could show them those places and put them in contact with the owner and hopefully maybe bring about a sale. Branding ideas, we just had a meeting on Tuesday with a PR firm that the town is engaged to come up with a sort of a logo and a tagline for the town. And we're studying a couple of proposals that they gave us. I'm focus grouping it with some people tomorrow and Friday. And hopefully in another, I would say within a month, we will be announcing a tagline and a logo, which will go on all of the brochures and our website and everything we do to advance bringing businesses into the town of Cortland. And we've been meeting with these owners of vacant sites. One of the biggest ones you have in the district here is the one I know it as the Bobby Tall property. Maybe many of you know it as that. It's the one by the train station where it's now used partially as a parking garage for buses. That's a great site near the rail line, particularly if at some point we could bring a sewer line in there. So those are some of the things we're looking at, and these are some of the things the town would love to see. I'm trying my best with Trader Joe's, and I've had discussions with Adam Sphereacre Farms. Many of you may be familiar with them. Their real estate person came down and we looked at sites, and one of them they looked at, but they're not so sure about, is the one that's the old Bobby Tall property. It's interesting. I'm learning. I thought I knew a lot about this stuff and how business works, but Adam Sphereacre Farms said Route 6 would be fine, and unfortunately they need 7 acres of land. They want to have their nursery and all that other stuff there. There's nothing along Route 6 now that fits that criteria. When I showed them that site and another site, you folks won't believe this, but they said, well, there's not enough vehicular traffic on Route 9A. They've done this traffic counts. Now, people that drive that wouldn't believe that, but they have these criteria, these different businesses, and they will not come unless there's a certain demographic, certain socioeconomic. We have a lot of good numbers with Trader Joe. I did a little research. We have the right employee pool, and we also have the right socioeconomic numbers and the density to make a Trader Joe's work. So
The old ShopRite, that's not big enough?
the problem with the old ShopRite, it is big enough. The problem with the old ShopRite is ShopRite's still paying the lease, and they won't let anybody go in there that's running a food store.
Gotcha.
Okay, so, but we have we have a great idea. What?
How much longer?
2 years, 2 more years. But we have a better idea for that. Town supervisor would love an indoor skating rink. If I get, you too?
Yes.
I know. I think if I get that, I get a lifetime contract with the town because she's so excited about that. So this is where she wanted it at Ansville, and this. This is a gem. All of this area along here along the water is a gem. This is the county sewage treatment plant here. The sewer line ends here, what the town would love to see is the sewer line run across the other side to where the Ansville Circle is, so that this, which is sort of a gateway to our town from the north, there really isn't anything there except construction yards and stuff like that. The town would love to see a hotel and conference center. You know, again, the problem is there's no sewers here, and to get the sewer line there it's expensive.
So is anybody thinking about global warming and water level rising and flooding when they're doing these things and improvements? Is this skating rink there is going to be
Underwater.
in 10 years?
So just
Yeah.
freeze it. You just freeze it.
Yeah.
It's a fresh water.
Yeah, no, that is a genuine concern with anything around there. So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know that it's that. I think the area there's a little bit above. You know, I mean, if we don't change things, yes, maybe 100 years from now it'll be underwater, but I don't think it'll be in the next 20. What?
And then in another 100 will be an ice age, and then
Oh, I
another
don't
100.
know. I'm not getting into that
I
debate.
know.
I'm not here for that. So this is the waterfront, they call it the Waterfront Sustainability District along Verplank. This is, I think, again, all of you are familiar with this area, the quarry. The town is in some discussions with somebody that wants to build indoor athletic facilities on the property the town bought from Con Edison that's on the Buchanan-Verplank border. We have somebody else that's looking at putting a restaurant-type facility right on the edge of the water. But again, those are all very preliminary discussions. The beauty of it is the town owns the land, so there's less restrictions with zoning, and what we would do is work out what's called a public-private partnership, where the person building the facility, whether it's the restaurant or the indoor recreation facility, they would pay the town to rent the land, and they would build the facilities, the town would build the infrastructure. So it's sort of a partnership thing. And again, we've been talking for about a year with two people on this. Hopefully at some point in the spring of this year, we're going to come to a conclusion one way or the other. This is the quarry. You know, right now the quarry is used for scuba training for first responders do it. And this is sort of the indoor facility we're looking at that site there. And this is a beautiful thing, which hopefully does come about. But this to give you an idea, it's 100 acres. There's plenty of room to do things. This part is steep. This is mostly flat, so it can be used for the recreational facilities. The quarry, you may remember about before I came aboard, about a year or so ago. By the way, I'm a resident of the town. I don't know if anybody cares about my background or knows my background or wants my background. I've lived in this town since 1977. I was born in New Jersey, but don't hold that against me. And I still have my Jersey roots. But I was a town councilman back in the early 1990s. I was a county legislator for a while. I was chief of staff to former county executive Rob Astorino, and handled under my jurisdiction or authority was the county's economic development. And I'm also a lawyer, and that's another thing you shouldn't hold against me. Most people will. So I was aware of the plan that was up about 2 years ago, where somebody came in and wanted to turn this into sort of a water park with zip lines and all of that. And again, the problem is, you know, the elected officials here are always sensitive, as you are as an elected board, to what your constituents are thinking. And of course, the people this is all residential here. Unfortunately, the only way to get to the quarry is to come through this residential area. So the type of use that was planned for there was very high volume. We're looking at uses today that would be less volume. And of course, the indoor athletic facilities up here, we're working with Entergy, Con Ed, and Continental, any one of them, to get us access with it before you get into the hamlet of Verplank, so we can get the traffic in, along Broadway here where there aren't many homes. There's the athletic field again. This is along the Verplank waterfront. This is what the town would love to see, is some kind of discovery center, educational or cultural type thing. This area to be used for occasional events, outdoor events of some sort. And again, there's discussions with different entities, but at this point, nothing is really coming about it. So this is the latest hot topic, the medically oriented district. The idea here was to make the zoning less rigid, so that if you were coming into this area here that's along where Hudson Valley New York Presbyterian Hospital is, as long as you had some sort of medical or health-related use, whether it be geriatric care, outpatient care, doctor's offices, pharmacy, things like that, the town would make the regulations and laws a little easier for you to get in there. There's also two major stakeholders here. One is called Giodyne. They're going to build a medical arts or office building. And then there's another one, the more controversial one, which is for a motel or hotel to be there to service the hospital. It would be, I don't want to say boutique hotel, I think it was about 60 to 80 rooms. The thing is that those two stakeholders were willing to do an environmental impact statement for this entire district. And once they did that, anybody else coming in to develop a smaller parcel could piggyback on their findings and not have to go through a full-blown environmental impact statement with all that cost and time and expense. But this is, right before the bid, there's been a little public outcry against it. The town board is listening. They're looking to modify it, and I don't know what's going to happen. I hope eventually it comes through, and maybe, we can meet some of the concerns that, as you can see, there's a lot of residences right around here, and they're concerned about traffic and noise.
And George, it's our understanding that this proposal outlined in yellow is not in our district.
No, this is not. This is Lakeland.
It's not.
Lakeland. So why am I wasting my time?
Well, no, but it's an important distinction, because
Yeah.
there was some misinformation or what have you, that people believe that part of this development could be in our district, and then
Yeah.
another set of rumors that said, oh yeah, part of it's in our district, and the developer isn't going to pay appropriate taxes. And
Oh.
It's basically a non-starter, because
It's not in this district at all now. It's in Lakeland. So.
It does affect us as residents of the town.
Oh, yeah, sure it does. And
it
honestly,
does.
when the town did the master plan and did a survey, one of the things that people said is that they're looking for, and we have an aging population, people are living longer, they are looking for good healthcare services. And since, Hudson Valley Hospital was a great hospital, I was a former member of their board of trustees, and New York Presbyterian taking it over, I think it's even taking it a step further. So it would be a good thing to have adjuncts to the hospital that would work, in tandem with it. This is also not in your district. This is the Lakeland district, but this is the Route 6 corridor. Cortlandt Crossing just opened recently, which of course led to the vacant ShopRite, because now they have the bigger ShopRite there. So one of the things we're looking at the ShopRite, that's not really it, is what's called a food hall, or a kind of destination place where you could go. So I don't want to give names out, but there are two entities that are from this area that you would recognize if I said their names, that produce a food type product or a beverage type product that are looking to expand, and they want to do a sort of a production and showcase type thing. So if you can think of somebody that's a distiller or a bakery or something like that, where they make a product that you can buy, but they also have it, you can see the production line of it. That building would be perfect to be split up into 4 or 5 of these entities. And what the supervisor has said is that if they did that, what they'd also like is a either demonstration kitchens, as well as sort of the community area, where there could be performances, whether it's music or art or comedy or whatever, and sort of make it a community thing. The beauty of this is that it won't get much traffic from people buying their products from Monday through Thursday. It'd be mostly the weekends. However, they're going to be doing production there as well, and the ShopRite is well set up with that. It's got 3 loading docks in the back. It's really tailor-made for this. The question is, can we lure these people to come in there? Can they strike a deal with the current landlord? That lease is up in, like as I told you, I think you asked, it's like about 2 years. Nobody's going to go in there for just 2 years of a lease. They're going to want an extension. So those are the things. But I'm gratified that at least I've got 2 good potential tenants looking at it. In fact, we're going in next week with the owner of the property. The property is owned by a private family. They've owned it for years. So This is important to you now.
Are they
This-
looking to continue to own it? And
Oh,
just-
yeah, it's
just
the
they
son of
continue to
the-
lease it?
They've been leasing it, yeah.
They want to continue to lease it?
They're now offering for sale as well.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. He's going either way at this point, but the price is a little, what he's asking. Of course, that's what he's asking. He's asking $14 million for that site. It's about 7 acres, building 600,000 square feet. But, you know, the only other things that were looked at for there was a car dealership, which we already have enough of those. Not that it's a bad thing because it employs people, but I know the town supervisor, before I came aboard, they contacted Alamo Movies, you know, the big movie house things, but there was no interest from them. But anyway, so the transit-oriented district, this is the area, you know, just around the railroad station. The issue is getting sewers there. There are 2 alternatives for sewers. One is the Round Top development. They have their own sewage treatment plant, which when it was built, the town insisted that it be a modular plant which could be expanded. So if we could work a deal with them and we got somebody interested in developing some of this, that would be a thing. I would be interested to hear what people think should go there. I have ideas in my head. I mean, to me, that site would be ideal for some residential apartments and something that I would call like a WeWorks center, because I would envision, I'm not this way, but I have colleagues that they work in the city maybe 2 or 3 days a week, and then they try to work from home. You can live right here by the station, you could have a work area. One of the problems with working at home, because I do it sometimes, but I still have an office, is I don't have a nice printer there. You know, when I need to print a lot of documents, I'll go to the other office and print it in the big machine. So, something like that might be good there with a little bit of retail. I don't know, some recreational type thing. The other alternative for sewers, which is less likely than Round Top, would be the VA, because the VA has sewers, if they would allow the town to, you know, connect into that and connect this area to it. The $850,000 grant we received last week is for sewers slightly north of here. And again, I told you, because here, this is down level. Where they're going to put the sewers in Montrose along the, it's pretty much that area where Coles Market and Folgers and all that is along there. That all flows directly, they could flow it directly without any pump stations into the Buchanan sewage treatment. So this is the major parcels that are owned. This is owned by the town. The town obviously has land here where an appropriate use came about. That's where the state police are. This is the old Bobby, I call it the Bobby Toll. That's how I moved all those years. Any of you remember the mud bogs there? Yeah, okay. So this is what we're about. A new economy, protect our environment, a community and educational opportunity. Envision Cortlandt. If any of you have the time or inclination, I think I've seen a lot of master plans in my day. The one Cortlandt did back in 2017, it's a very good master plan that does that. And you should be proud of your town, because I do a lot of work with the city of Peekskill. The rule of thumb is that municipalities should do a new master plan, or at least review their master plan every 10 to 12 years. Peekskill's last master plan was in the late 70s. Never been done. Which means they're kind of doing things, but it's not with any forethought about, you know, what you really want in your community. So I think that's the last slide, yes. So any questions? Better yet, any answers? Seriously, if you, I don't know if I don't think the contact information is there, but you can.
I'll send it out.
Yeah, if you hear of anybody, seriously, I'm willing to go anywhere. I've been to the city, I've been to White Plains, I'll go wherever to talk to somebody and try to get them interested in coming here, because I know how important it is. You know, there's a lot of underutilized properties along this 9A corridor, and I think one of the things, if the sewers can come in, and again, we got this balancing act because people don't want too much development, but at the same time, we need to build up the tax base somehow, and, you know, the commercial ratables are certainly better than a residential ratable, plus, particularly for a school district, it doesn't mean additional pupils that you have to pay to educate. You know, you have somebody paying your school tax but not really using your facilities, so.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much for coming and
Thank
giving
you.
us
My
a
pleasure.
personal,
Thank you.
refresh on where we
Okay.
for 7th February.
All right, thanks. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thanks. Just see, I mentioned the grant, I think some notes about, the other thing we're working with Westchester County on what I want to be able to do is when I meet with somebody, I want to say, if you're in this location, within 5 miles, there's this many people making that much money with this type of profile. Within 10 miles, there's this, and so we're working, there's a lot of census data that Westchester County has, I know, from the planning department, and so within another week or two, we're fine tuning that. That'll be another mechanism that will be available to me and to others to say, this is why you should come here, here's what we've got. You
Question,
do have a question, yes?
the Pondview Commons, those houses are getting thrown up so fast. What kind of, what is that? Is that
It's rentals.
Okay.
It's market rental and some affordable rental.
How much how's it split?
I don't know the amounts.
Well, I was just wondering what that means. Granted, it's not ours, but I was wondering what that meant for the tax benefits.
Oh, it's definitely a tax benefit.
Yeah, but if it's affordable, if they're providing
There-
affordable,
there's
it's
only a
gonna be,
handful- There are only a handful that are affordable, most of them are
I was gonna
market.
say that would dramatically reduce their tax base.
No, they're
What they're
they're
obligated to
mostly
pay.
market, and I know it looks ugly now, but. I
Well,
should
no,
say-
they'll get it cleaned out.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they're
only
going to,
built-
there's
it's a
going to be a lot of
construction site.
landscaping done there. Right now, it looks like it's just a,
No, it's a
big open-
construction site.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to look nice when it's finished.
Okay.
Thanks.